answering.
It's like a superhero family, but the dad's really abusive.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. We don't know anything about that.
That sounds like it's not a rip-off of anything.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give it up for the cast of My Hero Academia! Look at this cast. This is incredible, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hold it.
I don't think I've ever hosted a panel of this size before, so it's going to be a little tricky. We're going to do our best to kind of give everyone a chance to share little bits, and of course we have audience questions, which looks like you guys already lined up. You guys know the drill. You guys have done this all day, so. Well, let's do this. Let's start on this. Let's start on the far end. I know you guys are sharing mics, and why don't you share who you are, your character, and maybe how many times you've been at AwesomeCon, right? The fans have all been sharing how many times you've been at AwesomeCon. So go ahead, start us off.
I'm Ernesto Jason Liebrecht, and I voice Dobby. Yes, it's true. This is my first time at this awesome con. So thanks for having me.
I am Christopher R. Sabat, and I play All Might in My Hero Academia. Thank you. And I have been here 46 times. This is my 46th AwesomeCon. Actually, I can't count. I have no idea how many times I've been here.
Hello, I am Monica Rial, and I am the voice of Miss Suyu Asui, aka Frappy, in My Hero Academia. And this is my very first AwesomeCon.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Austin Tindle. I'm the voice of Neito Monoma. That pause before the clap was too long. And this is my first time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot that I already had a microphone.
Got your own.
I need both of them.
Two mics.
Hello, I am Lindsay Seidel, and I am the voice of Neji Reihado. And there you go.
See, there wasn't a pause for that one.
Well, you prepped them though. It would have been extra bad if they did it for me after you called them out on it. And this is my first time here in DC at all, actually.
Wow.
Thank you.
You too?
I could. Why not? Hi, everybody. My name's Justin Briner, and I play Izuku in My Hero Academia. And I feel like I visited AwesomeCon many times in my dreams, but it's my first time really here. Wow.
Hi, I'm Leah Clark, and I play Toga.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a first.
Wow.
Okay, this is my first AwesomeCon. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I'm Caitlin Glass. I'm the voice of Mina Ashido. Thank you. Y'all are pretty rad. This is my first AwesomeCon, and it is indeed awesome. Thank you, Cheryl.
Hello, I am Elizabeth Maxwell, the voice of Midnight, and also my first time as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Clifford Chapin. I am the voice of Katsuki Bakugo. And you may have a hard time believing this, but it's my first time as well.
I get so nervous on these large panels.
Me too.
I'm so nervous.
I got you, brother.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Matranga. And yes. Just cheer for me. Awesome. And I voice Shoto Todoroki in My Hero Academia. Thank you. You guys just made me a little less nervous, really. It's my first time at AwesomeCon, so yeah.
Well, we've been asking all of our guests, give us a little bit of your history about how you got into voice acting. We can't unfortunately get into everyone's story, but it would be kind of cool if there was one or two of you to kind of share maybe a funny or uncanny or sort of a serendipitous way you got into the biz. to share today? Anybody?
Easy way.
Like a unique one, not like the boring story.
How many of us came from theater?
How many came from theater? There you go. Okay.
Yeah. So what about you?
I found out they were building an anime production studio in Dallas, and I thought, I'll just be the first one there. Maybe I'll get a bunch of good roles that way, and it worked. I started, I was a DJ on the radio, and everyone told me I had a really nice voice when I was 12 years old, and I didn't know what to do with it, and finally I found something that made a lot of sense. I single-handedly created anime. It was my idea. You're welcome. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Japan was like, what is that? I'm like, here, let me draw it for you. And I created Dragon Ball Z. It was just a fun little thing I did. Yeah. Jason reminded me it was this little flip book I was working on. And there's my story. That's it. And now I'm here today.
And my story is I met Chris Sabat.
I remember that.
That's good. I'm glad you do.
You should tell that story.
He got you into it, or what happened?
So my story, I had been pursuing being a voice actor. I had a demo made. And what are you talking about? Yeah, I'm talking. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, sometimes. But I had a demo made, and I was trying to break into further parts of the industry. I was just doing some low-budget stuff at home, and I'd like narrated some instructional videos on YouTube and stuff like that. And I got impatient, and I looked up the address to Okratron, and I drove to Okratron, and I walked up to the door. Yeah, I walked up to the door, and there was really, really loud music playing on the other side of the door. And I pushed the doorbell button, it lit up, and then it went dark. And I was like, well, I've got about 2 minutes until I'm sure like some security person's gonna come and be like, you need to leave, like random person. And as I'm standing there trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, Sabat comes busting out the door on his phone, and he like looks at me, he's like, hi. And I was like, hi, sorry, I rang your doorbell, but I don't think you heard it over the music. And he's like, what do you need? And I was like, well, I was hoping to drop off a demo. And he's like, sure. And he pulled me inside as he's on a phone call with a client, is like, talk to Raleigh, like, because Raleigh's another guy over at Okratron. And so Raleigh took down my info and like kept like kind of trying to ask me questions like, how did you find us? How did you know about this? And I was like, I just Googled it. Like, your address is online, you know. And so then I gave them my demo and everything, and he was like, send an email to this address and stuff like that so Chris can see it. I was like, great. And I went home and I was like, maybe if I'm lucky, I'll hear something in a week. And then 3 hours later, I had an email from Sabat that was like, hey, sorry, I treated you like crap. Like, you literally said that in the email. I'm not making that up.
Did you print it? Is it framed on your wall?
I wish I did. I think I accidentally deleted it. I feel so bad. I actually thought about it. I was like, man, that was such a big moment in my life, and I deleted that email. But like, he's like, sorry, I treated you so bad. You have a good voice. We're gonna call you in for a thing. And then a week later, you called me in for a thing, and I booked that thing. And then it was an Xbox game called Loco Cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I booked that thing, and then you called Joel McDonald over at Funimation and was like, hey, you should listen to this kid. And then I booked Good Luck Girl Bimbo Gamiga.
So the other side of that story is the reason why the music was so loud, because normally in recording studios, you don't play really, 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 really loud music. It was the one day, I think in the entire history of Okratron, that we had no sessions in any room. So we're like, let's clean up, and we're going to listen to this one Flaming Lips album that you have to listen to on 4 different stereos really loudly. It's called Zootropa or something. Zyreka, yeah.
Zyreka.
And so we're listening to a really loud volume, and I get a call from like our biggest client. And so I go to rush out the door, and there he's like standing there with his demo tape. I go, oh, hey, sorry, hey, how'd you find, who are you? Anyway, I feel bad. Hold on, like, Raleigh, talk to this dude. And then we left, and I really did feel bad. I said, I normally don't big time people like this, but I was having to run out of the building because the music was so loud, I couldn't hear him. I catch up with him, and then we actually listened to his demo, and he was really good. And here he is today.
What a story! And then after you got to know Chris, like he doesn't apologize for being mean to you anymore, right? Yeah.
No, I haven't apologized again, ever again to anyone.
I feel like I've never felt that.
All right, Christopher, I can listen to your voice all day. Like
You should watch anime then.
There you go. I can actually listen all day. Well, we had a lovely discussion yesterday with David and others over Attack on Titan, and we were just talking about how anime has just, it's been popular for very long all around the world, but in the past decade or so, it's really just blown up. I mean, Comic-Cons have blown up, pop culture has blown up, and anime has kind of been on the tip of that.
It's like right when I showed up, actually.
Yeah.
It's right about when I started working. Now that I think about it.
That was awesome. Yeah, awesome. You had a big part of this. But My Hero has like such a, it's really has sort of stood apart, and it's really unique. It's very special. It's really captured the heart and passion of fandom. What do you think it is about My Hero that in the midst of like so many other options and so many different animes that fans have really like gravitated to it?
Who wants to go? Who's got it? I think that there are a couple of reasons. I think it came along at just the right time in what was going on in the rest of pop culture and media with the explosion of superhero films and the MCU, and it was all over TV and in the theaters, and it is now to even greater degree. So an anime about superheroes, great, yes, we'll eat that up. And then truly I think it is the characters. There are so many of them, and they have such interesting individual stories that any audience member can find at least one character to relate to that they can see themselves reflected in. And that makes it a lot easier to grasp onto a story and stick with it after all of these seasons. And thank you for sticking with it. We appreciate you.
Woo! Great answer!
Oh, thank you.
Mainly, I'm going to be a cheerleader today, if that's okay. Sorry I missed yesterday.
No problem, Jason. We missed you. So, Jason, what do you think? Why do you think My Hero has separated itself?
It's the villains, man. I mean, it's totally the villains.
I knew it.
And what I mean by that is that we are more. I mean, humans are. We're not perfect, and we have flaws. And unlike the kind of one-note characters in certain parts of the show, the villains have a great deal of depth, and it's relatable because they're like us, right?
And by villains, what he really means is Dabi. That's it.
No, that's not true. I mean, Toga's backstory is also pretty intriguing. Shigaraki's. Now, the Todoroki family's pretty interesting.
I'm kidding.
But is Endeavor a hero or is he a villain? I mean, it's kind of...
Do you notice that these two are as far away from each other as they can be?
There are some deuteragonists, I would say, that also are compelling in their humanistic qualities. A lot of Class 1B characters that might not be considered protagonists.
What's your guys'
A deuteragonist is a word. Look it up.
You're not the belly button dude, right?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was confused then. You're not the one that like throws the sticky things and is the creeper, right?
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Tangents. The smell of them.
I hate having to share mics because, like, I have an impulse to say something and I'm like, oh. It's like, nah, that was terrible. I'm not saying that now.
So maybe it's a good thing.
Probably good.
By the way, they do intentionally separate us at any point. I mean, like, we never are allowed to sit next to each other. It's really quite smart of them.
If they touch, they turn into a ball of liquid like Time Cop.
They just try to separate you guys because that's what happened to your characters.
I love you too, Cliff.
So our fans, I mean, everyone loves everyone here on stage, and everyone has like their own sort of favorite. But as you kind of think about the years that you guys have been a part of the show, one common question that we usually get from our audience is like, do you have a favorite scene or moment in your character that you can share. And so I know I'm kind of throwing out questions, but maybe this one we could kind of go down the line quickly and just see, do you have a favorite moment that you can share?
It's hard to choose one for me. I'll just throw out the season 2 sports festival fight with Deku is one that always is, and then there's an episode, it's kind of a small episode called Dobby's Dance that I like that up.
My all-time favorite thing is probably still Heroes Rising, the second movie. I love that movie, and it holds a very special place in my heart, but I also really love Deku versus Class 1A. It was really good. So.
3 words. Lord Explosion Murder. Yeah, the naming episode was probably one of my favorite moments.
I love the episode where Mina, who's very nosy, decides that we should have a contest and see whose dorm room is the coolest. And so we get to go see everyone's personality reflected in their interior design, but it's really just because she's nosy. It was a good time.
Yes. I would say the latest interaction with Ochako was actually one of my favorites. Not only because I, love their rivalry / imaginary friendship, but also I've always just admired Lucy Christian, and it's always been one of my goals / visions to have scenes with her, be in a show with her, acting off of her, and I'm doing it, and it was great.
My heart really goes out right now to Deku versus Class 1A in the recent season. If you know, you know. If you don't, what are you waiting for? Come on.
Probably for it to be on Hulu.
Coming soon to Hulu.
I really love the scene where the big 3 get introduced. I think it's a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with that scene with Nejire just being really over the top and asking invasive questions of everyone. And I like all the fighting scenes she's in because it doesn't happen all that often, but when it does, it's fun. And when she's fighting alongside Froppy, it's always a good time.
Golf clap. Gosh, favorite moment. It's really hard to pick one because Neito Monoma just has so many important, impactful moments in the show. It's just he really drives the plot in so many ways. But if I had to pick something, the moment, the sweet moment that he has with Eri, where he finds another instance of his power not working, and he's humbled. I love that moment. But my next favorite moment is going to be in season 7, so check it out, because it's going to be amazing.
You know already. Wow. I'm going to go with Caitlin on this one. The dorm room episode, I got to subdirect for Colleen while she was out of town, and so it's the first time I got to see my colleagues here do their jobs, and it was really great to watch everybody kind of fall into place. Also, Suyu had to cry, and I was not confident in my skills to self-direct, so Caitlin actually came in and helped me figure out what Suyu sounded like when she cried. So it was a special little moment, but yeah, I really loved getting to hear everybody do their thing. That was what was most special to me. I was watching, because they're all so good. Oh.
I brought my own. Cool. So, man, I just loved season 1. Because All Might was really in it that season a lot. As opposed to the seasons where he just shows up every now and then bringing food to people. But I'd still, at the moment that it happened, I felt like one of the best moments of my entire life was the scene where All Might uses the United States of Smash. That was the coolest part. It felt really cool at the time. You've got there's something about these big epic moments and being an anime voice actor that you don't get in a lot of other types of acting. because when you are performing a scene like that, you've got your headphones on, you've got music, and you've got sound effects, and as much as you love the scene, we get to be in that scene performing it, and it's the most epic thing you can possibly do. So I was supported by so much great media around it that just made the whole thing so special. And I've cried more on this show than I've cried on any other show. It's true. He wants me to cry all the time, and I tell him I don't, but I did on this show. Season 1, guys. There you go.
I love you. I love you. In Dobby's dance, it's hard not to pick from that. I'm sorry. I waited. I knew what was going to happen there for 3 years, so I felt like I was in chains or something, and they released me. The line, the iconic, "the past never dies," to deliver that, you'd think that'd be my favorite moment, but it's not. It's the shot of Endeavor's face after I say it, and his twitching freaking eye. Like, yeah, you made this. Deal with it.
I think that's the
End of answer.
I think that's the single longest monologue like in the history of anime. Like, isn't that that's the episode where you just go on the whole rant, right? Yeah. I love that. It's like literally like a Shakespearean monologue. The whole episode.
Oh no, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that their first like love for anime came from watching My Hero Academia? Look at that! Look at that! How cool is it that like you guys helped introduce anime to like a new generation?
That's one of my favorite things when
right?
people come to my table to ask about like, you know, how did you find it? Where are you in it? Because you invariably you get like their origin story with the show and how people found it. Or it's fascinating. It's so cool, and people are still finding it. You know.
Well, before we get to audience questions, let me ask you guys. You know, we're here at a con. Cons are all about passion and geeking out and nerding out. These fans have been anime fans for forever. How about you guys? When you were little kids, what were you geeking out over? Like, what was the thing that you were nerding out over? Collecting, going to a con, or what were the things that you were super into?
Pogs.
Nice. Wow. Excellent.
I liked Frank Miller's Dark Knight.
Good one. That got me into comics.
And Blade Runner.
What'd you think of Blade Runner 2049?
I liked it, but it was not as good, in my opinion. A beautiful movie, a beautiful film. I think that Ryan was a little miscast, actually.
There you go. What else did you guys geek out about?
I mean, I whatever bootleg VHS anime tapes I could get my hands on, I would watch. But I was, and still am, very, very big into fantasy novels. And I made it my mission to try and collect all the Dragonlance books. Oh man, I never met, like, I would literally go to used bookstores in every city my family would travel to, and I still didn't get them all.
I was a scratch and sniff sticker dealer when I was younger. Not kidding, I had them all, and I'd find the rare ones, the ones that smelled like tires and stuff. They did. I should show you my collection someday.
What about the markers?
What?
What about the markers that smelled like the color?
They didn't,
like the
not nearly as
like
good
grape?
as scratch and sniff stickers, but it was fine. It was a nice attempt, but the stickers were where it was at. I also used to sell cinnamon toothpicks. I would soak them in like cinnamon oil and then sell them at school. Yeah.
For how much?
They're like, I made quarter, maybe 25 cents for like 10 of them. It was enough to buy a push-up, you know what I mean?
For a single toothpick.
Yeah, but remember, I'm older than you, so like all food cost 25 cents back then. Like you.
Right, and so people would eat the toothpick as food.
You would just leave it in your mouth. It was spicy.
Okay.
It was good, yeah.
It's a novelty. You're at school.
And that's hardly a meal. You need all 10 for a little bit of a, like an hors d'oeuvre.
Christopher, was there a what's your favorite scratch and sniff? What's the worst one?
My favorite scratch and sniff was always the cotton candy one. Don't tell anybody. And the worst one literally was the tire. They literally had one that was like a Goodyear tire or something like that.
Did anyone try and haggle with you on your toothpicks?
Hell yeah, they did.
They'd be like, "Well, I got 2 dimes. Could I have one for 2 dimes?" Like,
look, sometimes I'd give them out just to get the taste. Like you'd get them hooked on it. Then they come back and they need more. And sometimes I could trade food items for it. Like, I'll take your fruit roll-up if you want 10 of these pieces of wood that I soaked in oil. I didn't have a license for this, by the way.
I had a buddy that was doing the same thing, and we were in elementary school selling toothpicks. And he told me it was after school.
See, it exists.
Yeah, it was a deal.
You all looking at me like I'm making
I
this
grew up in
up.
Dallas, and so there you go. And he told me, whatever you do, don't put the cinnamon, like, don't touch it and touch your face, because the cinnamon is like super, intense or whatever. And I was like, oh, forget that. So I took it out and rubbed it all over my face.
Oh, no. What?
Yeah, thinking, it's fine. So I walked away, and it just, my face caught on fire. And I ran home and jumped into the pool. I just jumped straight in.
A friend of mine, during those days, he was over at my house. We were playing War, which is what we did. Where you throw tennis balls around, you pretend they're bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
He tried to pick up my can of cinnamon oil, a little bottle of it, to use to pretend to make a Molotov cocktail or something like that, and he spilled it on my bed a little bit. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sorry," and he sat on it and rubbed his butt on it to try and clean it off. Except remember, this is the 70s, so he had really short shorts on, and he had to go home. My parents had to drive him home.
Toxic stuff.
I was going to ask you if there were any liability issues with your toothpick business, but
there were no liabilities in the 70s at all. Our parents weren't even home. They didn't care.
Hey, let's go to our audience here. Go ahead and tell us your name and how many awesome cons this is.
Hi, my name is Kira. I don't really know how many awesome cons I've been at. I'll say 4. But my question is, if you could make your own pro hero name, what would it be?
1 or 2 answer, maybe?
Cinnamon toothpick.
There you go. Yeah, I love it. Sweet and dangerous at the same time.
It has to be scratch and sniff then. All right, scratch and sniff.
Scratch and sniff. There you go.
What does that quirk entail?
So for these questions, we'll just have 1 or 2 answers just so we can move through time. Anyone else have an answer? Going once, twice? Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kayla. I've seen some of you guys at other conventions. This is my first time at AwesomeCon seeing a lot of you guys, so that's cool. I guess my question is, this is pretty much for all the heroes in training. So if, say, Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki, they all finally decided to become pro heroes and run their own agency together, how do you think that would go?
Definitely need separate offices,
It'd be fine. What's the worst that could happen, right? We all get along.
You just need to have an HR department.
Don't let Bakugo do any presentations or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think Bakugo would ever be in the agency. He would just always be out. I don't want to be there. I'm not here.
Work from home.
Don't call me. I don't have time for this.
All right, go ahead.
So great, basically,
My name's Michael. This is my 6th year, I think. And my question was, if any of you have seen the show Invincible, how do you think Class A would feel about Mark?
Has anyone seen Invincible? It's an Amazon Prime series.
Invincible rules.
Was Mark the lead? Is that Mark the main character?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's fine. His dad's kind of a jerk though.
Huh.
He's like a Superman villain.
Yeah. It's like a superhero family, but the dad's really abusive.
Oh, I don't know. We don't know anything about that.
That sounds like it's not a rip-off of anything.
Yeah.
Did we answer this question or no?
I don't want to spoil it but yeah, I think we answered it.
Okay.
Thanks, man. All right, next. Here we go. Over here.
Hi, my name's Celeste. This is my 4th AwesomeCon. I love it here.
How's it going, Celeste?
And this question's for all of you. Well, I've already asked this to one of you. So if you could pick any song to describe your character, what would it be?
You asked me this already, right?
Yes, I did. So it's not for you, but you've got great music taste.
You want to start us off? You already have a head start on us.
I think I chose Cleaning Out My Closet by Eminem.
Yes, again, great music taste.
Yeah.
thought for sure you'd pick Katy Perry's Hot and Cold. I don't know who sings this song or anything, but I know that there's some song that's called like "This Is My Fight Song." And it talks about I've only got one match, but I can make an explosion. It's sang by a girl. It's a pop song. It would not be like Bakugo's choice of music, but I could see someone else playing it. Like, oh, he's about to fight. Hit play, and like, you know. So I think that'd be funny.
So whip it good. Da-na-na-na-na.
I don't know. I'm still thinking.
Leah, do you know yours? We're going to give Caitlin more time to think.
Yeah, sure. I'm thinking like that like early 90s Alice Cooper song Poison. Ooh. Google it.
Go. Anybody else?
Yeah. I would go with All Might's soliloquy from All Might the Musical.
That you wrote?
Yeah. We're a work in progress.
I feel like I can come up with something better than this, but I have yet to come up with something better so far. Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
You know, that was originally written by a guy. I'm gonna say You're So... It was a country song before it got famous. You're So Vain is what I'm gonna say.
It's not easy being green.
All Might would probably just listen to the All Might's Greatest Soliloquies on YouTube. He just listens to workout techno with the quotes of his own voice in it. I am here. I am here.
Just TikTok sound trends.
There was a doo-wop group in the 40s or 50s called the Ink Spots. And they sang a little song that was put on this video. There's an artist on, I'm going to answer this for too long. There's an artist online, her name is Berth, and she's kind of Dobby focused. She does some not safe for work stuff too, so careful if you look her up. But she made this little video of Dobby just sleeping in a rainstorm with this alarm clock blinking 12 o'clock behind him. And the song is, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. And it's so peaceful, which is not like him at all.
You should have just told us that song from Fallout.
What?
It's very popular in the video game Fallout.
Really?
Yeah, it's on the soundtrack.
I've never heard of it.
Thank you.
All right, over here, go ahead.
I'm Amy. This is my 4th or 5th AwesomeCon, and my question is, well, I know that in the world of anime dubbing, oftentimes actors are shared among a bunch of different animes, and I wanted to know if there are any hidden treasures that any of you are a part of that you think deserve more recognition.
Ooh. Good question.
Eden of the East. Yeah, check it out. It's Leah Clark and I are co-leads in it. It's really, really cool. It starts off in D.C. My character wakes up with amnesia. He's naked, waving a gun in the air. In front of the White House.
It's a show that I guarantee not a single person in this room has seen. It's called, no, not Glass Fleet, Jason. It's called Ninja Slayer. And no one's ever seen it. It is so stupid. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen and the best thing of all time.
So, pre-TikTok, I would have said Yona of the Dawn, but you guys have shown up for Yona. So I'm going to go with Golden Kamui. We are on season 4. Hey! Somebody's real excited. Yay, you! But yeah, you guys, if you haven't checked it out, it's on its 4th season. It's a really great show.
So most of my career is amazing shows that you guys haven't seen. But I'm going to pick one. It's 91 Days. Go check out 91 Days. I think that was a positive sound. It's a Prohibition-era Chicago gangsters. I've got a mobster accent.
It's Once Upon a Time in America, but in anime form.
Yeah. It's like Boardwalk Empire, and I do a really good job. So
he's basically the De Niro.
You should check it out.
Oh, it's hard to pick one, but I was reminded of this because Cliff is on this panel and he directed this show, SSSS Gridman.
Yeah, man, yeah. Yeah.
My mind goes to, and again, this is sort of a TikTok phenomenon now, Classroom of the Elite. Yeah. Check it out. Why not? What do you have to lose?
Gosh. I mean, I was going to say Eden of the East, so he took my...
You could say it again if you wanted to.
Eden of the East, probably. Let me see, what else?
New Game.
New Game, that's it. A New Game. I thought it was bigger than it was, but so if you haven't seen New Game, go see it. It's like anime The Office. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
I need a mock
I'm going to say a little show that I'm in, but also directed, called Radiant. Monica's in it. Wow, you guys have seen it. Please go watch it. It's fantastic. It is based on a manga by a French author, and it's got magic, and there's so much in it. I don't know how to explain it. It is like a shonen action adventure involving magic, and it has some really heavy themes in it. Clifford, you were in it as well. It's really fun. You won't regret watching it. Please do. Please check out Radiant. It's just one word. It's easy to remember. Yeah.
I feel a little conflicted saying this one because I'm fairly low-key certain that My Hero Academia is the reason why we don't have a season 3 of the show, because Studio Bones has been too busy. But it's a show that I was actually directed in for the first time by Caitlin in the second season. Jason over there is the main character, but it's called Noragami. Aw, thanks guys, that made my heart happy. But yeah, it's. I know I'm in it, so I'm biased, but it's in my top 3 anime of all time.
The question is based on anime we were in. It's okay for you to be biased.
Well, I know, but okay. Thanks.
I'm gonna say the Duke of Death and his maid. I play the titular Duke of Death, and my real-life wife plays his love interest and the titular the maid. So it was pretty cool because I got to my wife and I got to sort of do lovey-dovey scenes, which was based on real emotions for us. It was kind of cool. So you
must
should
be
check
nice.
it out. It's really sweet. And there's a season 2 coming this summer. Hopefully we're dubbing it. I don't know. They'll tell me, I guess. But I'll know when I get a text being like, can you come record? And I'll be like, yes. So
you guys could still dub it together at home.
You could, yeah.
Or just steal the scripts and say the words to each other and look deeply into each other's eyes.
Just dub the manga directly.
Once the kiddos have gone to bed.
Tomodachi Game. Yeah, I wanted to get ones that no one would, just crickets, but yeah, 2 people. Copcraft. No, you don't know what.
Petite Princess Yuchi.
All right, you win. You win.
Did I win? Shit. It's like having the worst glasses. I won. Did I win?
All right. I think we're over here. I think. Go ahead.
Whoa. Hi, my name is Mia. This is my very first Comic-Con ever.
Yeah, Mia! Welcome. You are one of us now.
Welcome.
So my question was, since My Hero Academia is sadly coming to its end, how do you guys think the series is going to end?
It's what?
It's not coming to its end.
It's coming there. Like Shigaraki.
You said, how is it going to end? Is that the question?
Yeah, how do you guys think it's going to end?
probably with a credits theme song.
Kind of opened yourself up to that one.
I think we're going to find out that Monoma is actually All for One's illegitimate son. And that's why he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Dobby's going to wake up, and he's going to discover that it was all a dream, and he actually was never kicked to the curb, and he's the #1 hero, and Endeavor's dead. And then the credit thing that Cliff said.
Credits roll. There you go. Okay, over here on the right.
Hello, my name is Andrew.
You got a nice voice, man.
Oh, thank you.
I bet you hear that all the time.
I actually heard that at Panera yesterday. Anyway,
At Panera?
Big fans, all of you. My question is that for since around 2015-16, My Hero Academia has been fairly present consistently as a lot of things have changed, whether that being anime dubbing or the process of doing so going to simul dubbing. And when you do that over a long period of time, your relationship with the character deepens or changes. So I guess the question is, how does that impact a performance or a role balancing scenes of sadness and pathos with like comedy?
Well, I can't really speak to the comedy part of the question, but I know for me personally that being with a character for that long, I mean, it just gets more. You become more each other, if that makes any sense. I mean, you identify more with the character. At least I do. I take things that happen to him in this fictional realm more personally, and feel more deeply about his pain. Anyway.
I think that there are pros and cons to the simuldubs. The pros being that you're constantly working with that character and you're learning when the character learns. I think the cons are, back in the day, we could watch the whole show before we got in the booth, so we knew where our character's trajectory was going. Whereas now, like, you go and show up for a new character, they could be dead in 3 episodes. You have no idea. They could turn out to be the villain. You have no idea. So it's kind of exciting and kind of terrifying all at the same time.
Yeah, I think, our job is to invest 100% in whatever character we're doing at that time. And so you do that, but with everything. But when you do have something that you've lived with for years like that, there becomes, I don't know, like a respect, or there's even more pressure to make sure that it's as good as people want it to be, as the manga, as the story is, that it lives up to that. But at the same time, I mean, like, for example, when, leading up to season 6 and some of the stuff, Dobby's dance episode and some episodes around that, I went in for that, and I was so ready for it. I went in for those episodes, and I remember the first take, like, Todoroki was screaming something, right? And Colleen had to be like, okay, you're coming out of the gate a little hot. It's a little strong there. Let's take it down. Because me, as the actor, I was just so ready to do it, So there are things like that happen when you live with a character that long that are really exciting.
Nowadays, animation's all around us. And whether it's Pixar or DreamWorks or anime, now there's more examples of incredible, voice, characters, TV, film, everything, streaming as well. And so, but your role in being a voice actor, does it kind of like ruin your experience when you're watching like a Pixar movie or whatever? Because are you sometimes analyzing the voice performance, and how has it changed now that you've been involved with anime?
I mean, for me, being an actor in general can do this. You kind of got to get out of your head when you watch things, and not. You got to turn that part. At least I do. I've got to turn that part of my brain off in order to enjoy myself and relax. If I start noticing somebody's process, whether it's voice or full body, it'll take you out of the story. It takes you out of that reality. So, yeah, I just try to shut that off, personally, especially if I really am into something.
Yeah, I think for me, that's when I know, after I've watched a movie or the episode of a show, when I realize, like, whoa, these actors were incredible, is if I realize I finished it without thinking about the fact that they were acting while watching it, because normally I do, and I'm thinking about, the choices they're making. I'm like, oh, that's, an interesting way that they delivered this line. Things more often, I think, for all of us when we're watching something, sound like lines, and sound scripted, and so that's when it's like, whoa, this actor is amazing, is when I forget that they're acting.
Does anybody else ever do that thing where you're watching a movie and you'll lean to the person next to you and you've never seen the movie before, and you say a thing, and then that's the next line?
Oh yeah, that's the whole game I play.
Yeah. That's the worst.
My girlfriend is so irritated with me. She's adapted to it, and so now she plays along. But like, I watch scripted television like an annoying dad watches sports. I'm like, did you see what he just did right there? Look, the way that Elizabeth Olsen has mastered this narcissistic personality disorder is insane.
She's just not acting.
She's
not
so
acting.
good in that show, and she's so smart with the decisions about the projects that she's doing next. That's the most impressive thing. It's like she decided to pilot that.
What show are you talking about?
Huh?
What show are you talking about?
Is it called Love and Marriage?
Love and Death.
Love and Death.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It is
Jesse
good.
Plemons.
They filmed that in Austin.
So sometimes the opposite happens for me. Like I've just been watching Succession, right? And sometimes it's so good that I love to actually talk about like what they're doing right then and there, pausing it and talking and saying, talking about the choices that they're making, or that was such an off-the-wall,
Thank you for
huge
pausing.
thing.
Thank you for pausing and doing that.
What? Oh,
I said-
sure. Oh yeah, I gotta pause and then rewind a little and get back into it. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes it's fun to actually dissect.
If you want, I can ruin movies and television for you. Do you want
No,
this?
what?
No, seriously though, if you watch the backgrounds of any scene in a movie and a television show, you will notice that the people that are on set are not the voices that you hear usually, and very rarely do those voices match. So that's always been fun for me to look at the background and be like, oh, that's not them, their mouth's not moving, but there's a voice coming out, so.
That's a good point that I just remembered too, that I hate this aspect, that I can't watch anything now without noticing, at least part of the time, when they've had to, for live action stuff, come in and do ADR for something. I can always tell, specifically because of what it is we do, and so we have like a radar for
Unless
that.
it's so bad that it's entertaining, like the first Mad Max film, for instance, that's pretty entertaining. The Arnold Schwarzenegger Hercules, oh my God. They completely replaced his voice. It's beautifully terrible.
We have a few minutes left. Let's try to hit a couple more questions. Go ahead.
Hi. My name is Matthew. This is my first Awesome Con.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks. My question was, when did you guys fall in love with your character?
Right away.
Yep, I think all of us just sort of said without being on the microphone, all of us were like, right away, immediately. The show really sticks with you really fast.
All right. Go ahead over here.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Marissa, and this is my first time at AwesomeCon, and it's been awesome. That was me who kept screaming, by the way. Okay. So my question is, and this question is for everybody, but specifically for Mr. Matranga. And there's one correct answer that he has to say. And he'll know it when I say it.
Okay. Hopefully I will.
What is your favorite line?
From my hero?
Yes.
Don't get it wrong.
You obviously know what that is, right?
I do, and I'm gonna do it. Hey, Midoriya, what are you, All Might's secret love child or something?
I knew it.
Thank you!
I knew it.
And if anybody else wants to say theirs, they can say theirs.
Does anyone else have a favorite line they want to throw out there?
The past never dies. I am here.
I didn't even have to do it. That was great.
Anybody else?
I like picking on Bakugo. Anytime Tsuyu gets to pick on Bakugo, especially, with that attitude, you'll never be popular.
What's the ringtone one, baby?
Your phone call is here.
Oh, right.
Don't you think it's about time you changed that? Something along those lines.
You'd be cuter if I cut you or something. Say it.
Line.
I'm doing the voice for you?
No. You're the line.
Oh,
I like to hear it.
You'd look so much cuter if you bled a little more.
Yeah. That's nice.
All right, let's
Thank
go.
you.
Let's go over here. All right, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Desola, and this is my first time at Awesome Con.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bully you. Hi.
4 hours.
How's it going?
Good. It's great to meet everyone. My question is, what personality or part of your character that you guys love the most?
My humility. Just really down to earth.
I genuinely love how body positive and sex positive Midnight is. I think we could use a little more of that.
Similarly, I like Mina's just general positivity and attitude, trying to keep everyone in good spirits and believing in each other. And she's such a little social butterfly and likes to create moments and memories for all of her friends. And I think that's super cute.
She's totally a Leo.
She might be one.
I admire how emotionally available Toshinori is. I think that's what a lot of people like about his character. He's actually is able to talk about stuff. I'm super jealous of him sometimes. I'm like, wow, he just speaks his emotions. How do you do that?
All right, thank you for that question. Okay, good. We have time for 1 or 2 more questions. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Radford, and I've been to AwesomeCon 3 times. My question is for everyone. It's if you could put your character into a different anime, which anime would it be, and what is the first thing that they would do?
Dragon Ball Z, and they'd give him a senzu bean.
I would say Dragon Ball as well, but I think Suyu would go work for Bulma at Capsule Corps.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I'm just also going to say Dragon Ball.
I'm going to say Attack on Titan, and I think he'd try and kill all the Titans.
There you go.
Awesome. Reasonable.
Okay, last question. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Matt. This is my first Awesome Con.
Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Hi. My question is, with all of the yelling and screaming that some of you have had to do over the course of the show, what has been the process of learning your limits on how much you can do in a session?
Yeah, you should answer this.
Deadlines are awful, and they're not your friend. Because there definitely was a sports festival episode where I was screaming and yelling, where I had to stop in the middle of the session to go and down a whole bunch of tea and Papa Gua, which is a Chinese cough syrup, to help me get through the session because it was just so much. A lot of my stuff comes down to I end up doing a lot of vocal rest. I try and schedule the sessions into a point where I don't have to worry about other sessions after it. Because there's kind of no way to do it halfway, and there is a certain point though, if I hurt myself in the session, I have to be able to say to the director, I have to stop, because I cannot keep going, I'm gonna hurt myself. The worst I ever hurt myself, we were recording One's Justice 2, the video game, at the exact same time as Heroes Rising. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video, but there's a video of me and my voice is just completely destroyed because we had to do so much of it all at the same time. And it's just tough, You have to be able to stand up for yourself and say, I'm at the limit, I have to stop, And not every director and studio is great about honoring that. Colleen, she happens to voice this character. You guys probably have never heard of it. It's named Luffy on One Piece. So she's pretty familiar with screaming a lot. So Colleen's actually really good about it. She's really good about, especially for me, being you're sounding really bad. You need to stop right now. She's actually pretty good about cutting it. But
in my experience, it's the video games that don't seem to know. The only time I've lost my voice entirely was playing Bane in DC Universe. And I had a 45-minute session. I couldn't talk for 3 days.
I just like that the question was, how do you know when you've reached your limit? It's usually when things hurt and you can't speak.
You can taste blood in the back of your throat, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, are you guys going to be still on the floor for the rest of the weekend?
Right after this. Yes, come see us.
Go to their tables, go talk to them, get autographs, all that good stuff. And then before you guys run off, if you can just line up so they can get a good photo of you guys all together, that'd be great.
Can we also just give it up for the ASL interpreters
Yes,
over
thank
there?
you so much.
You guys are awesome.
We had this epic cast again. So you guys come forward right real quick. You guys get your photos. Hey, let's give it up for the cast at Hero My Academia!
This is Brandon McInnes, the voice of Finral in Black Clover, and you're watching Fandom Spotlight. Please subscribe, please. If you don't, I'll be sad, okay? Thanks. Bye.